The herb of the day, which was the herb I was given to demonstrate, is thyme. Now, if you're like me, I just thought you cooked with this stuff. Honest to God, I never in my life thought you did anything with this but put it in Italian food. I swear. No, same with oregano. Never thought I would use oregano for anything, but stick it in pasta. Basil. Basil, which is just a miracle herb, and it just never occurs to you that anybody uses it for anything else. And no one tells you that. You don't read that anywhere. The doctors will tell you that. You don't see it on the medical stuff. The time's real good for you. It is. Okay. Thyme is an antiseptic, an antifungal. If you use it in your shower, it kills your mildew and your mold. It's wonderful for muscle pain, and it's fabulous for your immune system, and for urinary tract problems, and for respiratory problems. And it just goes on and on and on. And let me just read you a few things. I do a lot of little folklore things in my shows and stuff because I find it interesting. In medieval times, the knights wore sprigs of thyme on their armor as a sign of courage. The scent of thyme was thought to give them strength in the midst of battle, as well as relief from pain. The oil of thyme is the main ingredient in Listerine, in case you're interested. Something weird. It's well known for its fine flavor of the honey of Mount Hymus near Athens, and it was said to be due to the wild thyme, which it was cut. That wasn't what I wanted to read. Oh, bees. That was it. If you plant it in your yard, the bees love it. That was my whole point there. It's really good mixed with lavender. Let's see, there was a couple of other little things. There you go. There you go. And it's been for thousands of years, mixed with syrup, a safe cure for whooping cough, and for sore throats and coughs, and for gas problems and colic, fever. According to Culpeper, which most of you I think have done some reading, Culpeper was the end-all and be-all of herbs. It's a noble strengthener of the lungs, as notable as one as grows, nor is there a better remedy growing for whooping cough. It purges the body of phlegm and is an excellent remedy for shortness of breath. It is so harmless you need not fear the use of it. An ointment made of it takes away hot swellings and warts. It helps sciatica and the dullness of sight. It takes away any pains and hardness of the spleen. It's excellent for those troubled with the gout, and the herb taken anyway inwardly is a great comfort to the stomach. If you read these old books, they're fabulous, okay? I have an herb book that's from the 16th century. I actually had to learn to read some Old English to get through it, but it's amazing how the 16th century book jives perfectly well with the herb books today. I mean, there's so many of them. I mean, you're talking the 16th century, and they say the same thing about dandelion then as they do now, and yet your doctors don't tell you that. Anyway, it's wonderful for cosmetics and rice powder, and it's absolutely fabulous for embalming corpses. Okay. It's a good preservative of meat. In the higher animals, it acts as a local irritant to the skin and mucous membranes. It's used as an antiseptic lotion and mouthwash, as a paint in ringworm for eczema, psoriasis, broken chilblains, parasitic skin infections, burns, and ointment, and perfume that keeps off gnats and mosquitoes. So again, you can't memorize all this stuff. So it just, and then I always use, so there's your herb for the night. And then I always, not always, but for tonight at least, in this particular one, I have to add lavender. I don't add lavender to everything because it's so overwhelming. The smell of lavender just is such a beautiful, beautiful smell. But I don't like to put it in absolutely everything. But if you want to pass that around, that's probably the best. Like Miguel in the show, I tell people, just put as much lavender in your life as you can, and you can't go wrong. You just can't. It's an bacterial herb. It's just amazing what it does. I have a cold air humidifier in my room. I don't like the heat. Again, I'm old, I don't like the heat. But I have the humidifier, and I put in some nice purified water, and I put in lavender, and I run it all night long. One of the things that I do for my daughter is she has a humidifier in her room, and she puts thyme and lavender in it, those two things, and it helps her not have so many lung infections, which she is. Unfortunately, my daughter is sick all the time because she has no immune system anymore. But those two things in I get all my essential oils, the oil products that I use from Miguel because I don't trust anybody else. I have to be honest and say I tried something else and it just wasn't the same at all. I'm sure there are other really good places that sell essential oil. I have not found one that I thought sold oil that was as pure as Miguel's, and it never smelled lavender like he sells, and that's where I buy it from. You just small bottle, you put 10 drops or so into your humidifier, whether it's hot or cold, and you run that all night long, you don't get sick, or at least not anywhere near as often. Nothing guaranteed. You're going to get sick, okay? But not nearly as often as you would. And there you go. That's real easy. It's just learning. That's all it is. And if you have any questions that I can answer, or I can find out for you, if I don't know something, I will look it up for you. When we have the shows with Miguel, I have an email list out there, and people will write down problems that they have. If I don't know the answers, or I can't, I don't